All right, all right, all right. All right. Welcome to the backyard, everybody. I don't have anything going on, so I figured why not do a little Cowboys stream action. You might even see dogs pop into the picture once in a while. And I'll be honest, I tried to link up my AirPods to my laptop, and it didn't sound very good for some reason in my ears. There was a lot of crackling, so I'm using my telephone instead. Hello! What's up, everybody? Welcome to Backyard de Jeffrey, where we'll talk Cowboys football today. I saw some cool stuff today. Saw some stuff on Tony Pollard. I believe that was from the great Michael Gelkin. Machota was writing about something today. Also, I want to shout out my friends in the Cowboys industry who are getting their freaking shine on right now. I think you guys already know, probably the great Dave Hellman, formerly of DallasCowboys.com, got a job at Fox Sports writing. Well, they put him on TV last week with Acho, and he was awesome. And he's on TV again this week, so watch Dave Hellman on Fox Sports. He's one of my best friends, and he's one of the most talented people in the industry, and I think he's about to be filthy freaking rich and super famous. He's been on The Herd. He's been on, what is the other one? Speak for Yourself. I'm not a big sports TV watcher, but I'm a big Dave Hellman watcher, and he's a beast, and I'm proud of him. I'm also proud of my friend Skywalker Steele for being at Cowboys camp and asking Mike McCarthy questions. I'm proud of my buddy Voch Lombardi for what he did at camp. I'm proud of my buddy Law Nation for what he did at camp. So many good people. Jonathan Conley, how serious is the Will Grier injury? We'll see. They said they're going to decide on Friday if he's going to play in the preseason game on Saturday. Here's what I'm going to say. This is how I'm going to start the video. I don't know if anybody wanted to start the video with Will Grier talk, but Will Grier had a pretty good camp. And I think actually was in a battle with, and is in a battle with Cooper Rush for the backup job. But as Cooper Rush has actually played in games for the Cowboys, and they feel like, oh, Foots is a beast too. Yes. Soto, man. Yes. Because there's a level of familiarity with Cooper Rush, and he's actually played NFL football for the Cowboys, he probably has the leg up. I think Grier, while I was out there for 9 or 10 days, probably played better than Cooper Rush, but he's got a groin injury at the moment. They don't know if he's going to play this weekend. Where is Bland on the cornerback depth chart? I'll get to that in a second. If Will Grier does not play this Saturday, that sucks for Simi Fihoko. It sucks for TJ Vasher. It sucks for Cavante Turpin. It sucks for every wide receiver who's trying to make a case to try to get on the roster because, and I say this with all due respect, my understanding is he's a sweet man and he sells a lot of really cool hats, but like Ben DiNucci's not an NFL quarterback. And if the Nooch is out there throwing the ball, it's going to be really hard for Brandon Smith or Dennis Houston or whoever to make plays and impress. So hopefully Will Grier's groin is okay and he's able to play. That would be ideal. I did see my boy Hellman on the Herd. I already mentioned it. Yep, in a suit. And I will tell you, Dave Hellman is one of the dudes who's earned it the most. That is one of the most talented people I know, maybe the most talented person I know. And you know the best part about Dave Hellman is the dude who he is on TV and the dude who he is in real life are the exact same person. Most TV people, that is not the case. Dave Hellman is him. That's who he is. And that personality is freaking awesome in life and on TV. Vance in the super chat. Sorry, my finger's going to be all up on my screen when I try to scroll down the chat. Yeah, everybody hit the like button, please. Hit the like button, please. Is there a way to mute this so I can clear my throat? I don't even know how. Yeah, let's see. Mute microphone. I hope that worked. How much do you like Pollard in the slot? Okay, that's another thing we're going to talk about here in a second. Kenny and Quinlan, how are the lamps? They're literally still on both sides of my bed, Kenny and Quinlan. I love you, brother. You the best. Vance said 2 questions. 1, how are you doing, good brother? 2, how do you see DQ and company working to improve the run defense this year? Okay, 1, how am I doing? As you know, I'm not the kind of person who just says I'm doing well, thank you. But I would say I'm doing better today than I have been. I would say I'm doing better the last couple of days than I've been doing the weeks before that. I think I made an ill-advised medicine change on top of other things that I had to deal with at the time. And I think I'm dealing with both. And we're going to get better, and we're getting better. Still a struggle, though. Now, what was your other question? DQ and company working to improve the run defense this year. Well, I think the Cowboys defense is, I think there's a decent chance it's better this year than it was last year. But when I say better, it's important to differentiate how I mean better. I mean, it is second and 8, and we're going to run a football play. I think the average result will be better this year for the defense than it was a year ago. Now, will you replicate the level of success the defense had? I don't know, because you're not going to replicate the number of turnovers that they forced last year. When you lead the league in turnovers, it happens every year. Whoever does that, you don't do it back-to-back years. There's a level of just luck and variance to it. So you're not going to lead the league in force turnovers again. But I do think on a down-by-down basis, you'll be better, because so many of the guys that are going to be out there are the same guys that are going to be getting better at football. Osa is a young player who's going to be better. Neville Gallimore is a young player who's going to be better. I think the combination of Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, and Dorrance Armstrong can actually outproduce Randy Gregory, and I love Gregory. Micah Parsons is going to be better. Will that mean better stat line for Micah Parsons? That might be impossible, but he will be a better player and will make the guys around him better too. Trayvon Diggs will be a better player in theory. He won't have the same amount of interceptions, but he'll be a better player. Jaron Curse will probably be a better player. Like they're going to be a better defense down in and down out. That does not mean that they're going to lead to your team scoring more points necessarily, because they're not going to replicate how many turnovers they forced. But I do think they'll be a, quote, better defense. All right, where is Kilgore? Is the scrimmage today? So the Cowboys, what they are doing now is they are in Denver now. And what is today? Thursday? So they should be practicing against the Broncos today. Yes, so you should have a fun practice that I bet you could see some of it on NFL Network. I believe my buddy Jane Slater is out there covering it. I bet some of it will be on TV and stuff. But yeah, so they're in Denver. Party on. People asking about Kelvin Joseph. I think Kelvin Joseph has had a kind of a struggle camp. The last thing I saw is after I left that apparently when they ran some goal line stuff, that was probably the best he had done in camp. And that makes sense because Kelvin Joseph is such an aggressive, grabby player. And on the goal line, you can probably get away with it more. But in camp, I felt like I saw a lot of that stuff and it was not leading to great success. So not ideal. All right, let me get on my tweeter and see what other questions. Would it be more difficult for the defense or offense to play better than last season? Offense. It's going to be hard for the offense to be better than it was last year. I'm trying to think because you still got your quarterback. You're essentially replacing Amari Cooper with Jalen Tolbert, which is a downgrade. You're hoping your left guard plays better than Connor Williams did last year, and who knows? You're hoping that Terrence Steele in a full season plays better than the combination of Terrence Steele and Lyle Collins from a year ago, which is, I think, probably unlikely, even though the team was playing better when Terrence was in there. That was pre-Dak injury. I think it'll be hard for the offense to be better than it was last year. For as much as we didn't like the inconsistency and Dak was not the same the second half of the year, they still led the league in points and yards. So I think it'll be tough to replicate that. Let me pay the bills real quick. Shout out to my guys at Bet Online, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. And I do want to hear from the people who gamble on preseason football. I want to know your strategy. Like, what makes you think you got a good handle on this thing? Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information. From live in-game betting, props, and futures, head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use promo code BELIEVE50, BLEAV50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Jeff, what's the biggest narrative being pushed about the team now? I don't know that there are. I don't know. Is there any big-time narratives that you think are out about this team? I think the biggest thing that I've seen today is about the idea of using Tony Pollard more and with Ezekiel Elliott. And I think that's such an interesting football conversation because across the NFL, I know everybody thinks it's cool and that you're going to like create this really matchup nightmare kind of deal when you put these two running backs on the field. And oh my God, the defense will have no idea what I'm going to do. But yes, they do. They know that either you're going to put two running backs in the backfield or the second one who's out there is going to line up in the either motion out to play wide receiver or be your jet sweep look guy. Like defenses have a pretty good handle on what you're going to do if you put two running backs into the game. And for the most part, they're still going to stay in nickel defense. So you're not going to, I mean, I guess if you're going to use Zeke as a fullback and hand it to Pollard a bunch, then you might be getting a matchup that you like in that regard. But even Tony Pollard, who's an electric receiver for a running back, is not better than a slot receiver. So lining him up at slot receiver, like you're not tricking people. It's very interesting, that sort of narrative. Our identity is we have no identity as a team. We just call plays. Well, everybody just calls plays. I mean, the Cowboys, Bob Sturm did a lookup of like, if you look at all their tendencies, like how they line up, how much shotgun, how much motion, how much play action, how much whatever, the team they most closely replicate is the Rams. So I know that the Cowboys are fun to kick in the nuts, but Kellen Moore's not bad at his job. Dak wasn't the same after he hurt his calf last year. Otherwise, you'd had a better chance in the postseason and in the second half of the year. Our identity was get a penalty on third down. That's kind of true. God, I feel like every penalty they had last year negated a big play. Jeff, do you think Simi is going to be a Lance Lenore type of hype, or do you believe he will be gone next year? Measurables and speed is rare. I don't want to put too much expectation on a fifth-round wide receiver going into his second year, but there's definitely an opportunity on this roster. And Simi has had a really nice camp, going down the field and making plays. Seems like he scores a touchdown every freaking day in camp. So he will have an opportunity. You just hope he's not another Lance Lenore, John Bay Johnson. Yeah. Speak for yourself. When Dave was on, they were saying word on the street is Dallas has a clear path to the Super Bowl. Well, I bet Dave told them no, they don't. Feel weird having no work schedule, like when you're homesick as a kid and everyone else is in school. Yes, and for a depression anxiety person, that can be an even bigger challenge. So trying to like just figure out how you're going to fill the day and what you're going to do, and ideally you would have some structure, but there's not a ton of structure there, and that's okay. Because we'll figure it out. Also, I would probably stay tuned because your boy might have a little more structure soon and something that's going to be a lot of fun. I might just stay tuned. It might shock the world. Kilgore, super chat. I don't think the Jones family are stupid or not football intelligent. They probably know more than I will ever know, but maybe they're just too cocky. That's why we can't get to the bowl. I think it's hard to get to the Super Bowl as number one. I think number two, you don't have the best front office. You don't have the worst front office. Like the Cowboys do a decent job of fielding a competitive team and all that. And I actually don't hate their strategy of playing the salary cap the way that they do and not doing it the Rams way. The Rams way becomes right because the Rams won the Super Bowl, but a lot of teams do that and aggressively play with the cap and move money around. And for a lot of teams, it doesn't pay off. And then you end up short on draft picks and short on young talent and up against the cap with old veterans who you don't want on the team anymore. And then you're going to suck for 3 or 4 years. But I realize it's hard to make that argument to a Cowboys fan base because the Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl doing it the way they're doing it. So it's like, who cares? I'd rather suck for 3 years. And I get it. Look at Sean going to the Super Chat just to say hit the like button. Jeff, we appreciate you. Keep it up. Over under 60% that John Ridgway starts a fight in joint practices. I think 60% is the right number. I think he is the guy. LC might have been the guy before. Now the fight starter will probably be Sam Williams. I could see it being Sam Williams. I could just see it being the rookies. Like they intentionally drafted dudes that are mean. They show the hell did. Haven't heard a word about how our center is playing. Is that good or bad? I think there's a chance Biotish is going to struggle. I just hope he doesn't. And with Biotish next to a rookie on his left side, Hope that Dak is ready to kick ass right away because you might have some growing pains that you've got to get past. But there's a chance that Tyler Smith, with his physical gifts, can be, even as a rookie, better than Connor Williams was. And there's a chance that Tyler Biadasz has progressed a little bit and can be a league average sort of center. Hope you tried Toppers out in California. I go to Toppers every year. Usually I go to the one in Oxnard on the water. This year, Hellman and I walked to the one in Ventura by our room. Completely unpredictable, but what year do we make the bowl in your opinion? If Dak plays his whole career in Dallas, I will say Dak plays in a Super Bowl. Guessing what year is very difficult. 2025. Should we worry about Tyler Smith and his holding issues in college? What's to say this won't happen? Yeah, I mean, that's the challenge of playing, of going from. Someone stopped outside my fence and turned on the radio. Like, it's my fence. It's my yard. This is my house. What are you doing? What was I talking about, though? Oh, yeah. How much did Fox pay Hellman? Oh, they paid Hellman. He's securing the bag. If he keeps being a TV star, he's going to secure a whole new bag, I bet. Hit the like button, damn it. Tyler Smith. Yeah, what I was going to say about Tyler Smith is he is making the easiest offensive line transition that there is in terms of going from tackle to guard. I think I saw, who was talking about this yesterday? I don't want to get the wrong offensive lineman that's on Twitter. It's either Mitch Schwartz. I think it was Mitch Schwartz, where he was saying the easiest change is going from tackle to guard, and even going guard to tackle is probably easier than switching sides. So keep that in mind when people pretend that like a left tackle can play right tackle and it's going to be easy. That NFL All-Pros and Pro Bowlers will tell you that none of these are easy. Moving from tackle to guard is not easy, but it's the easiest of all those things. Moving from guard to tackle is tougher, and moving from left to right or right to left is even tougher than both because you have to relearn everything. So for Tyler Smith, yeah, there's a challenge in changing positions. I mean, the good news is based on his college tape, I wouldn't have wanted him playing left tackle in the NFL as a rookie either. So, kind of rebuild him technically and put him in a smaller area where his strength plays. And hopefully that works out for you. The one thing about moving from tackle to guard is, yes, you have less space for those great athletes to beat you if you're technically deficient. But it also means that things happen a lot faster because the guy that you're lined up across from is now this close instead of this close. So Tyler Smith will have some challenges as a rookie, I'm sure. But hopefully the gifts that he has and the work he did in the offseason with Big Duke and with whatever Philbin can do, it's hard during the season to have guys get better because you just don't have the time to really work with people individually like that. Why are they treating Tyler Smith like their side chick? It's just the NFL way of pretending that you're not going to give the job to somebody and like, oh, yeah, Connor McGovern might be our starter. Now, hey, if Tyler Smith is throughout preseason shows that he can't freaking play, then maybe Connor McGovern will be your left guard. But Tyler Smith is your left guard. Connor McGovern's working at right guard also, which is just showing you who's the backup because Tyler Smith ain't working at right guard. Connor is. So we know which is which. You ain't going to fool us. Fool me once, can't fool again, or however it goes. What's your favorite way to enjoy a Cowboys game day? Well, can you guys see the big green egg there? That's how. I like to prepare food on that big green egg in the background. I like to have friends over, and I like to watch, and I like to be at the house because I like to watch all the games before and after, and I like to have two TVs going so that you can have the Cowboy game over here and you can have Red Zone over here where you can see everything else. That is very important to me. Jeff, out of the first four games, which one do you think is the most important one to win and have the biggest impact on the season? I'm not going to lie to you. All Cowboy fans are better than me at schedule things. Like, I'll have to literally look it up. I don't know their schedule off the top of my head because I have the worst memory. All right, game one is Tampa, Cincy, Giants, Commanders. Giants and Commanders, I think you're going to beat regardless. So you have to go either Bengals or Bucks, and I guess in that case you would go Bucks, just because they're in your conference, and it would be nice to get off on the right foot. But Giants and Commanders, you better freaking beat. They're awful. Hey Jeff, just got here from Tanner. Hi Tanner, welcome. We're just hanging out, just answering questions, doing what I do, meandering all over the place. How worried are you about the Eagles? I'll tell you how worried I am about the Eagles. Let me pull up their roster because this is what I think about the Eagles. I think the Eagles have a better roster than the Cowboys do. And I think that doesn't matter because the Cowboys quarterback is considerably better. But if Jalen Hurts becomes a top 15 or so quarterback in the NFL, then the Eagles will win the division. Kilgore, do you still get mad and upset at Cowboys games? If not, how do you do it? It depends if I've been drinking, and not as much as I used to. I think being in the industry for like 12 years in some ways brings it kind of down, where I feel like I'm more into analyzing than I am to cheering, if that makes sense. So like I want the Cowboys to win. All my friends who come over to watch are diehards. I 12 years ago was super into their wins and losses, but I think talking about it so much for 12 years and studying the game so much makes me to the point now where I'm kind of like I'm more interested in analyzing what happened than being happy or sad about the result. So I'm looking at the Cowboys, or I'm looking at the Eagles roster, right? Their offensive line: Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Isaac Seumalo, and Lane Johnson. That's a better offensive line than the Cowboys' offensive line. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Quez Watkins, that is a better wide receiver core than the Cowboys. Dallas Goedert versus Dalton Schultz, I would probably take Dallas Goedert. I like Dalton Schultz a lot. So we just went across the entire offense, and the Eagles, I think, are better than the Cowboys. O-line, weaponry, running back is, you maybe could give it to the Cowboys. I think Miles Sanders is a good player, but that roster-wise, boom, Eagles better, right? Eagles defensive line: Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Brandon Graham, and Jordan Davis, who's not even listed as a starter. So the Eagles defensive line is clearly better than the Cowboys defensive line. Hey, and if you say Schultz is better than Goddard, like I don't hate that. If you go by the stats, I bet that's true even. Like I don't hate if you say that. I like Dalton Schultz, but I think Goddard's a really good player too. Darius Slay, James Bradbury, and Avonte Maddox. I think that might be close in terms of corners. I think the Cowboys are better at safety, and I think the Cowboys are probably they're better at linebacker because Micah Parsons exists. So, if you go man for man, I think the Eagles have a better team than the Cowboys. The difference is one has Jalen Hurts and one has Dak Prescott. And that's why last year when they played, the Cowboys beat the brakes off the Eagles twice. So, although one, they didn't try, to be fair. But, yeah. Do I worry about the Eagles? No. But could the Eagles win the division if they get good quarterback play? Absolutely, they could. But believe in your quarterback. Your quarterback is quite good. Quite good, I say. I like Goddard's ability to get down the field more than Schultz, but he's trash. He's an Eagle. That's fair. That's a fair take. And we do have Micah. But Micah Parsons, if they let him rush the passer every play, he would break the record this year for single season sacks. I think Micah could get 30 sacks. His bend and explosiveness and power, like it's unmatched ever. Like it's LT stuff. It's like a supercharged Sean Taylor rushing the quarterback. It's a freak show. Freak show, freak show, freak show. All right, I think I'm good here. You guys good here? Take off. Backyard Ask Me Anything complete. Thanks for stopping by. I love you guys. It's nice to spend time with you. What's the split this year for Micah looking like between off-ball linebacker and edge? I think the difference is not necessarily where he lines up, but how often does he rush the passer? And I bet it's like 50-50 or hopefully more even in terms of rushing, where like he can be a fifth rusher coming from linebacker, or he can line up on the edge, or he can be a fifth guy in line of scrimmage, but hopefully he's going a bunch. Mike is the best linebacker in the game. Prove me wrong. I don't disagree. A.J. Brown's a nobody. I do disagree with that. How's Cox's knee looking? It sucks that it seems like it's not going as quickly as they thought it would, but also there's really no rush. Van Der Esch looks really good. You got Anthony Barr now, who's still in pup, so I guess he's not ready. No, Kilgore, you're not wrong. Micah Parsons is the best pass rusher in the league. When he does rush the passer, I think he has the highest pass rush win rate, the highest, like, everything. He just doesn't do it as often as true edge rushers. Yeah, he's the best pass rusher in the league. All right, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. I love you. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. So be cool to everyone. I love you. Bye.